Yo, what's up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. These are going to be our first Ultra League battles of this new updated season with a whole bunch of move updates. Every single Pokemon on this team is buffed. We got the buffed Karate Chop for Machamp, Shadow variant. We've got the buffed Poison Sting for Drapion, and then also Astonish, now dealing a lot more damage for Drifblim. Really cool team. Also three of my favorite Pokemon to use in general, so I was excited to try this team out, and we are going to get straight into the action. Ultra League underway. I will say with Machamp, I did have to invest 2 Elite TMs, the Elite Fast TM for Karate Chop and the Elite Charge TM for Stone Edge, and but I think it's worth it. I think Machamp is a really strong Pokemon in not just the Great League, but the Ultra League as well. And we start things off, we see the negative lead Tapu Fini, and I hate to pause so quickly, but one thing I wanted to mention at the start of this video is one rule of thumb, right, in Pokemon Go PvP is when you have a bad lead matchup, you normally want to do your safe swap, or your like soft counter is what you swap in. With this team, if you guys decide to run it, I typically swap Drapion even when it's my better answer, quote unquote. So you could say Drapion's my better answer to Tapu Fini, but it's just a lot of a safer Pokemon than Drifblim. So Drapion is usually going to be my safe swap for negative leads, even if it's my better counter to the lead Pokemon. So we see Donphan trailblazing us. We were able to get a shield advantage, however, and I know that Drifblim completely walls off this energy from Donphan, so I was content just letting Drapion go with a shield advantage, coming in, getting a full Astonish down. And this is looking pretty solid. What's going to come in? Tapu Fini comes in. This is terrific. Now Machamp is going to avoid the Tapu Fini. So they must have some sort of secondary answer to Machamp if they're going to come in here, or whatever's in the back must be weak to Drifblim. Either or. Drifblim going to put up a shield here, going to make this difficult for Tapu Fini. Going to go for the Icy Wind now. Threaten to potentially knock out Tapu Fini. And we do knock it out. What's in the back? It's Skeledirge. Now here, I actually make a bit of a mistake. I go for the Icy Wind bait, and I get the shields. That's huge. That was actually an unnecessary bait, because as you're going to see, I safely am going to be able to reach this Stone Edge before they can get to 2 moves. So the bait was actually unnecessary there. That could have been a potential lose con. So a lucky mistake, or a lucky mistake that didn't get capitalized on by me, as we get the bait and then we land the Stone Edge for a G to the G. Some people were asking in the chat of my Twitch stream, Rise, why Stone Edge over Payback or Rock Slide? I think Stone Edge, I was looking at the Matrix on PvPoke, just gives you probably the most benefit in the one shield scenario. That 55 energy, that super hard hitting move. Rock Slide maybe just not quite as menacing in the Ultra League, and Payback is a little bit more expensive. And having that rock type damage for flying types is quite nice, especially something like a Mandibuzz to hit for super effective, or like one-shot a Dragonite perhaps. So in this game number 2, we lose lead into Skeledirge, we safe swap Drapion, and they are going to stay in. We already pulled a shield advantage. At this point, I'm like, I can take a Disarming Voice. I'm just going to let this go. And what comes in, it's going to be a Gyarados, and Drapion gets to a crunch before going down. This is really nice for us. You see the decreased switch timer here. I'm going to play aggressive. I'm going to not allow the extra farm, go straight into Drifblim. Respect the potential crunch here with a Protect Shield. We do successfully shield it up. Now we're going to go for a full Astonish down. We did get debuffed, unfortunately. I can't imagine Skeledirge comes in with, well, we have all this energy. So what's going to come in? It's going to be Feraligatr. This is a little bit scary. We're going for the Shadow Ball, because I feel like if I pull the final shield, that could be nice. The problem is we're still switch locked here. He throws this move. I decide saving a shield from a Machamp is probably my best course of action. Feraligatr has quite a bit of energy residual, so this is definitely a scary situation. I go for a catch. I'm unsuccessful. That is really bad. Really bad for me. And I know I need to keep energy for Skeletor, so I'm kind of hoping he goes for a catch here, and he does, which lets me do a couple extra karate chops. And the Incinerate damage did not quite register thanks to the one-turn swap in, and we win the charge attack priority here. Will Cross Chop KO the Feraligatr? Yes, it will. Shadow on Shadow. Easily enough there. And we get the win. That was a pretty crazy game. I will take it. On to the next one. Let me know in the comments down below how your Go Battle League season is going so far. Have you been playing every day with these new updates? Are you taking it easy? We see Shadow Machamp into Dragonite, so we're going to go for the... Oh, I feel a sneeze coming. Excuse me. We throw on alignment here. Unfortunately, our opponent also did, so we could have got a sneak if we wanted, but we do successfully get the shield. I'm going to build up. I'm going to go for another bait now. Even if I successfully bait here, which I do, I don't think I'm going to reach the Stone Edge, so I do pivot out into Drifblim. Drifblim is fairly bulky, can withstand this Dragon Claw quite easily, so we're going to take the first. I'm expecting maybe a catch, so I don't throw. He actually throws on alignment, gives me an entire free Astonish. That's pretty nice. And now I am going to go for a full Astonish down in our opponent top lefts. He's out of there, so whatever was in the back apparently could not handle the energy from Drifblim. Perhaps Dragonite Double Ghost or something? I don't know. I do not know. Or maybe like Gastrodon? Who knows? All right, positive lead. Machamp into Greninja. They swap Zygarde. Now, I probably should have swapped Drifblim immediately here, but I hesitated. So, bit of a mistake right off the bat. I cross chop and then I go Drifblim. Now, Crunch is super effective, but Zygarde is so bulky that I figure Drifblim can withstand a Crunch, no problem. And that is the case. Now I go for the Icy Wind here. Gonna overfarm slightly. Going for the Icy Wind. This is double super effective damage. Should threaten to knock out Zygarde. In comes Greninja. Perhaps I should have like committed to the Shadow Ball for some more threatening damage here, but I just go straight for the Icy instead. Debuff the Greninja, but the problem here is Greninja gets a huge farm, and now all of a sudden this energy is a little bit scary. I actually decided to bank the Icy Wind since he got a little bit overzealous there with the overfarm and the undercharge. So now I have an Icy Wind banked for later, and luckily we don't get hard punished by the back Pokemon. This is more of a neutral matchup. Machamp versus Virizion. We've got a ton of energy here. We're going to just fire off Cross Chop after Cross Chop. Machamp saying hi-ya, hi-ya, Cross Chop, back to back to back. This is our third Cross Chop in quick succession, and I'm actually going to look to, I was going to say look to get out of there, but no, he recognizes that he's going to throw right away. If he had done one more double kick, I probably could have gotten out. I come in with Mr. Drapion. Gonna shield the first, expecting less likely to bait when I'm this healthy. Go for the Aqua Tail because he's so low, and then we just combo play with the Icy Wind that we have loaded. This should be enough to knock out despite being resisted. And that is a G to the G. Let's go. Pretty favorable lead, right? Machamp into Greninja. The only difficult part about that game was we didn't have like an obvious counter to the Zygarde safe swap, so that was all we really had to figure out. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Machamp into Gator, so Machamp is going to outpace Feraligatr in this matchup. It's 4 Karate Chops to every Cross Chop, 5 Shadow Claws to every Hydro Cannon. Cross Chop's not going to be enough to knock out, however, so you have to consider that. And I go for this double CMP mechanic, which is kind of a bug. If you double up and then throw on CMP, sometimes you can back to back without them sneaking a move through. It's a little bit cheap, you could say. I shield, sue me. No, don't actually. Hydro Cannon, get shielded. In comes Skuntank. So I am going to build up to this double Cross Chop and look to fire off both of them here. Cross Chop number 1, Cross Chop number 2, because he's still not quite in, like, Aqua Tail range for Drapion. So this is a little bit awkward. Because I can't quite take him out with a move yet. So I'm probably going to have to take a lot of damage, especially now that he Trailblazed. His Poison Jab damage will add up a little bit more. His next charge attack will do a little bit more. So Drapion's going to take a sizable amount of damage here. I'm hoping I can still get the farm down. We're going for this aggressive Poison Sting down. He swaps into Gator. I've got all this energy. What's going to come in? It's going to be... Let's see. We're waiting. Licky Licky. I think I let in a free rollout there. That's okay. We didn't want to... We'd rather like let in a free rollout, right, than get sniped by something and not get anything off. We get off the double crunch, and I aggressively swap Drifbloom. Now, a Shadow Ball here will definitely hurt. This is a little bit scary. We know his switch timer is coming up, so we're anticipating the catch, and we make a nice little patience play there, waiting for the catch, get the Astonish down, Icy Wind, and Drifbloom's going to take out Licky Licky. A little 3-ball flex is always nice. G to the G. As we say, that's a 5-0 set, ladies and gents. 5-0 set to start off the Ultra League. I've got too many items in my bag. They're trying to get me to spend coins. I've got telemarketers trying to call me. Crazy things are going on. We catch a squirrel. And rank 19. Rank 19. Has anyone in the comments gotten their starting elo yet? Let me know. Brag to each other in the comments about what your starting elo is. Got a couple more battles here to finish off the video. Let's see who we got next. Yeah, this has been a fun team. One Pokemon that I don't know if we'll see it in these next two battles, but one Pokemon I ended up having a little bit of trouble with is Galarian Weezing. Okay, Decidueye, a bit of a tough lead. I safe swap Drapion, and you know, this is one game where honestly I think Drifbloom would have been the way to go. And I know I said earlier, like, even when Drapion's the hard counter swap, I typically go Drapion just because it's safer. But Drifbloom might have been the play here. Because Drifbloom could still make it uncomfortable. And then I miscount. Someone said something in the chat that I was responding to, and I miscount there. And that was devastating. Because now our opponent actually decides to just let this go and take the shield advantage. And I'm hoping Decidueye comes in. But no, Malamar comes in. And this shield advantage Malamar is going to be a problem. I got 99 problems. Malamar is definitely one of them right now. Because neither of my Pokemon do very well against it. So we're going to have to take this move on Machamp. We're expecting the swap. We go Drift. But this Decidueye already has energy. We are definitely going to get outpaced here. I shield the first, knowing I can Icy Wind debuff and chunk away with Astonishes, but this is looking pretty rough. Unless Drifbloom can pull off some sort of miracle here. Spirit Shackle coming through. It is debuff, so perhaps we might live this. But unfortunately, this is not really a manageable farm down range. Maybe if we were able to get the Karate Chop down there, we could have had a chance against the Malamar, but that's not happening. And Decidueye takes us down. If I didn't misplay that mid-game there with a silly overfarm, getting too greedy with my energy, might have been able to win that game. Also, maybe if I had safe swapped Drifbloom, could have been interesting as well. Very positive lead into Licky Licky, and they swap for Alligator. So we want to make sure we throw our move first to essentially get like a free turn denial, since it takes one turn for them to swap in. Now they are going to throw their energy. We're going to build up here, build up. I actually go for the big Stone Edge, and the reason for this is because this threatens to knock out versus Cross Chop would not. Bang! We land the Stone Edge. That's big. Now Machamp is still super healthy. In comes Drifblim. I decided to swap out Drapion. Now, this is probably fine. Maybe it would have been better to... No, I think this was the play, actually. I was going to say maybe it would have been better to go my own Drifblim, but then he walls Drifblim so bad with Licky Licky that he probably could have like farmed up a ton of energy, and then it might have been tricky. So I think this was still the play. Go for another crunch here. Gonna fire off the Aqua Tail, threaten this Licky Licky, maybe even get the final shield. Let's see if our opponent shields this. They do. I aggressively swap. In comes Drifblim. Now, this situation, they have shield down, right? I could shield and go for the Stone Edge. A lot of people were saying, Rise, why did you no shield your Machamp? You're insane. You could have Stone Edged the Drifblim. Well, I wasn't convinced that after the debuff, a Stone Edge would one-shot. So I thought the better play was simply let Machamp go, save a shield for Drifblim, knock out their Drifblim, and then I have energy residual for Licky Licky here. So that is a G to the G. It was a Shadow Drifblim, so I don't know. Maybe debuffed Stone Edge would have done so much that it still would have been a win anyway, perhaps. But that's what I thought was the more sensible play in the moment. And sometimes that's what this game is, making those decisions in the moment. Sing for the moment. Shout out Eminem. All that said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all of that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.